Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. The couch has been left behind. We are nearly through the summer break, which has been killing us all, and we might have some racing to talk about very soon. But for now, welcome to another episode of VFL.
Like Phil said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us. Just before we start, like Phil touched on, we are going to discuss the 2026 driver lineup, what we've already got confirmed, what we're still to have confirmed, who we think may go where and whatever. But before we do start, me and Phil are going to really show our age now.
Reading the obituaries? Yep.
Which is a little bit embarrassing to admit that we don't know what this is, and there will be people who do, but well, a lot of people who do. If anybody is into collecting trading cards, specifically Formula One ones, and are more familiar than we were this time last week in an app or a website, does that make me sound old? Yeah, called Whatnot. Where obviously people go for their trading card requirements. If you are interested in F1, then please go and follow DT_collector. Collector is the first O in collector is a zero. All the images will be on your screen right now to find his page on there. A lot of good stuff. I actually personally went onto one of his sales, whatever. Again, showing my age. On Tuesday night, and it was actually it was really fun. A lot of people getting in on the action, and it was really interesting to watch. And a girl on there, Hermione, I think she was called, she won this Papaya Lando card. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and there was a Vegas one as well. That I know you've seen that, Phil, since.
Oh yeah.
And that was beautiful as well. And we VFL, we are on there separately as VFL Ant and VFL Phil, but we won, I say won, bought a Nigel Mansell card.
Yeah.
So we played to our obviously British heritage, and we played towards our love for mustaches, and we won Nigel Mansell. But all joking aside, if Whatnot is your thing, if the whole trading card, if you're not interested in buying the packs and obviously just seeing who you get as a lucky dip, if you are chasing a particular card, a particular person, particular helmet, Dave's got them all. So that's DT_collector. That's DT_collector. We will also be in coming weeks, probably on a race weekend. We'll be doing a live show with him where we'll be getting involved in what he does. So please go and check that out. And for anybody as well, just on that, for anybody who follows the link that we're going to put in the bottom of this video, so it will be there. If anybody does follow that link, you get a £5 credit on Dave's shop. So I encourage you sincerely to get involved. Good bit of work he's doing there, Dave. Good bit of hosting. Really good little bit of banter as well between everybody involved. So please, if that's your thing, go check it out. Go on.
Yeah, just to follow up on that bit. Yeah, he's a really good host. He's a dead good lad, and it's bizarrely addictive. Bizarrely so, for even for an old man like me, it's strangely I need to go and do this. So please go try it out. It's a laugh. Even if you're older than me, you might still enjoy it.
I don't think people older than you know how to use computers, do they?
That is a fair point. If you write a letter to Dave, I'm sure he could sort you out for that.
Send him a telegram.
Send him a carrier pigeon saying I want this card. What I will say is going back to the British and our love of mustaches, I still think the loser of Ant versus Phil
must grow a mustache
for at least 2 episodes.
Fine, I'm fair with that. I'm game for that. Okay, so yes, where would you like to start today?
Well, I will check sorry, I'm only pointing this out because anyone who watches any of the podcasts we've recently done, I have notes. So we'll, there's a few we can brush over. McLaren are safe. We assume
let's start there then, because current Constructors' Championship leaders, current Constructors' Championship champions, like defending from last year. So let's start.
They're the only ones in Formula Spaceship, aren't they?
Yeah.
So let's cover that and then we'll get on to F1.
So let's start with Formula Spaceship then. It's a done. I mean, it was done anyway. It is confirmed. It is a confirmed lineup that it is going to be retained as Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri next year. That comes as no surprise to anybody.
No.
they're going to win the constructors this year. One of them's going to win the drivers. They've got as good a chance as anyone of being in that sort of situation again next year. So done, easy peasy, that one. And for the first time in so many episodes, that will probably be the last time we bring up McLaren, which makes me sad.
Yeah. Well, is the race next weekend?
31st. So next weekend.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They'll probably come up in Ant versus Phil later. But moving on.
Good point.
We might as well. I don't know. Do you want to run through the guys who've got confirmed drivers, and we'll pick up?
Let's do it team by team. Everybody, you can tell we've not planned this. Let's go team by team. So the next team I've got on my list, and we'll do this as a double team thing because they are linked. So it's Red Bull and Racing Bulls. So the only person of the four that is confirmed is the obvious confirmation. Actually, to be fair, I say it's obvious. It's not been obvious throughout the majority of the season. Fair play. But he is the only one that's confirmed for 2026. Is Max? We're talking about Max Verstappen, obviously. So Max is confirmed in, and we don't have a teammate for him, which is currently obviously Yuki Tsunoda, and we don't have anyone confirmed yet for Racing Bulls, which obviously this season is Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar. An obvious one to bring up, and we've mentioned it a lot in previous videos, the obvious one to bring up is Isaac Hadjar to Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
We have said all season that's, I won't go as far as to say career suicide, 'cause it's not that bad, but it would be a massive risk because he's sort of at least on par with Lawson at Racing Bulls. I'd say better. We've seen at times this season where that car has competed with the Red Bull. So, you know, he's not in a worse car. He's in a worse car, but he's not in a much worse car. The minute he goes to Red Bull, he's just completely become second driver. We've said it before. However, all the rumours, we brought it up on one of the Silverstone episodes, all the rumours were that that Christian Horner had said if he could only enter one car, he would. It's not. This isn't Christian Horner's Red Bull now. So with Lauren Mekies in, does it make that second seat at Red Bull a little bit more desirable? Maybe not next season, but for future, is it now desirable again?
I think I've put down on my notes. I think Hadjar's gonna be in the second seat, and I think this is the best time ever to try and get in that Red Bull second seat. You've got Ford, who won't want any car with their power unit, you know, falling behind the rest. Like you say, you've got Laura Mekies, who he knows and has worked with already this season, and they need a good comeback after this year. I think if he's gonna go, this is the year to go. And I think Tsunoda's not done anything to keep himself there. I think it'll be Verstappen and Hadjar next year. That's what I've put down. I'm sticking with it.
That's going to be your prediction. You're going Hadjar in the other. I'm going to throw another option out at you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is likely. Which I think yours is more likely, but it's just throwing the cat amongst pigeons. So for you then, what does that mean Racing Bulls is? Lawson and who?
Lindblad.
Do you know what? And this is the name I was going to potentially put, because we've seen Lindblad in the Red Bull this season. All right, practice at Silverstone. But I wondered if there's any scenario here where Red Bull go, we appreciate Hadjar, we appreciate Lawson, but this has been a weird season. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave them as they are, and we're going to still continue to let them compete, but they're also going to compete against Lindblad, who will be the person in the second seat. Is there a scenario where that happens? I don't think so. I'm with you. I think it's more likely Hadjar goes up, Lindblad comes into Racing Bulls. But then the next question then is, where does Tsunoda go? Have you got him somewhere else or no?
I've not got him in a seat.
No, I've not. I've got him as a note next to a team, which we'll go on to when we get on.
I know who you know it is, but I just can't see it happening.
No, I agree. I'm with you, and where I feel a little bit sorry for Yuki Tsunoda is it's not his fault. He's not the best, and you know we've been bold enough to say that on this channel before. He isn't the best, but I can't.
Certainly not the worst.
No, quite, and I can't. I don't think he deserves a seat in Formula One, but I also don't think that he's been helped. I think everything that's happened with Red Bull, obviously the attention on just one driver and whatever else, I don't think he's been helped at all. So I'm with you. I don't see Tsunoda in a seat. So are we, because we're going to do this together, we're not going to compete on this, are we agreeing then that we think it's going to be Verstappen and Hadjar at Red Bull, and then Lawson and Lindblad at Racing Bulls.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it could be very boring. It could just be as it is, but I can't see it.
I can't. Lindblad, they have an opportunity there with Lindblad. And I think Hadjar's in our seat for next year. I don't know which one, but Hadjar's in a seat. Lawson and Tsunoda I'd be a little bit like this about, but I can't. Yeah. Red Bull can't do that to Lawson twice in the space of 12 months. So Tsunoda is
Ford are massive in New Zealand and Australia as well.
Yeah. So it would, from a marketing point of view. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, okay. So we'll lock that in as our prediction then. So we're going, Red Bull is going to be Max Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar, and then Racing Bulls will be Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is going smoothly once we get started.
I mean, there's two teams that I really don't have a clue about. So let's should we skirt over some easy ones? I'm ticking them off, or some goals.
Yeah.
Audi, we know where they stand.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
Audi,
Hulkenberg and Bartoletto.
It's another McLaren, isn't it? Audi. They picked that driver lineup for 2025, knowing full well that it was nothing to do with 2025.
Yeah.
And we've said previously, Hulkenberg and Bortoletto had to absolutely do horrendously bad to lose those seats. And let's be honest, Hulkenberg, podium in Silverstone. We've praised Bortoletto on this channel before. They've more than secured their seats. So yeah, Audi, I'm with you. Audi, sorry, it's not the table by accident if I wobbled. Audi, very much like McLaren, stamp. Approved. It's like that knuckles stamp.
Approved.
Need to get that.
Yeah, but I'm not going to put it on everyone because everyone's going to get well annoyed by it.
Sorry, I'm picking the easy ones because I know that there's a lot of discussion to be had on the ones that I'm going to leave. So there's no order to this, and if you want to pick up on something else, feel free. Haas.
No, we can't. We can't do an order. We can't just leave it with the big teams done first. No. We have to tease people in.
Haas.
Sorry, I just thought you said ass as I said tease people in. That was a weird link. Sorry. Right, where do we go? Ass. Who's going in your ass?
But Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon. Hopefully not both at the same time.
Surely they'll go in separately.
Ocon won't be fragile, will he? He's
trying to compose myself. This is a serious channel where we discuss serious things.
I'm glad we've got a collaboration going. Dave's going to be sat there shaking his head now.
I feel like the offer's off the table. Anyway, sorry, Haas. Right, so that is So well, it is confirmed as well, isn't it? That Ocon and
is it actually confirmed? Yeah. Right. Well, that's about as interesting as it gets. Then.
I mean, do you see a world where anything happens where either of them are removed? I mean, I'm not saying this should happen, but we've just said that we don't think Tsunoda has a seat. So
Sorry, I was just going to pick up. There's a very, very minuscule chance that Behrman could be summoned to Ferrari.
Okay, well, we'll go on to that when we do. But yeah, all right, we'll touch on that then. But I'm with you. I don't see who I've got written sort of out as a replacement for someone else coming in. I don't see them good enough to replace either Behrman or Ocon at Haas. So yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it has been confirmed, but we know that doesn't really mean anything. I'm pretty sure if Lando Norris became available tomorrow or Oscar Piastri, Haas would change their driver lineup. If Oscar Piastri said, I want to drive for Haas, I'm pretty sure they'd change. So but yeah, you're right. So Behrman and Ocon, we're going to say, is in. Phil's ass. Where are you going next? Don't pick Williams because I can't deal with Willies and ass. We've got to go somewhere else.
Merck. Let's go with Merck.
Yeah, let's go with Merck. Let's go with Mercedes. So from an official confirmed point of view, as it stands right now, and we know through the summer break that this is meant to change, it has not yet. So Mercedes, let's just clarify this. Mercedes, as it stands right now, and we're filming this on Thursday evening, I apologise, it's filmed a little bit in advance before it coming out, everybody, but schedules. But as it's filmed right now, Mercedes have nobody confirmed for next year. So they have 2 empty seats officially.
Are you ready for my bombshell?
Oh, you've got a bombshell.
Not really. No, it's going to be them two, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've written in my notes, surely it's Russell and Antonelli to be confirmed now that the Verstappen situation is off and done and dusted. I don't see a world where the only possibility, and I think it would be harsh, and I don't see it happening, but I'm just going to throw it out there as a discussion topic because it's a YouTube channel. Is there a possibility that Kimi Antonelli is seen to have been a failure this year at Mercedes, and I appreciate this is harsh. This is not my opinion. I'm just giving it as a devil's advocate point of view. Is there a world where he's seen as a failure and Mercedes look elsewhere? Or do you, before you answer, or do you not think the caliber of driver, like we've just said with Haas, nobody's good enough to replace them two? Is the caliber of driver not available to replace Antonelli?
There's one name that keeps just rattling around in my head, but it goes back to another team, and it's dependent on what happens with that team. So I'll tell you what, I'll go through my thinking, shall I? We'll just do this off the cuff. Ferrari have Leclerc and Hamilton confirmed. Hamilton is not happy, and Hamilton is suffering, and no one wants to see that. I personally would quite like to see them in 2026 together. However, if Sainz were to replace Hamilton, which I think is the surefire one, if Hamilton were to go, it would be Sainz. They're both, Sainz has said he'd go back. Fred Vassar has openly said he will be chasing down Sainz if there's a seat. Could Hamilton go back to the Mercedes?
Do you know, it would be... I think it would take the world by surprise, but I also think Hamilton has a lot of his sort of character, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, a lot of sort of what he's worked on is this "still we rise" mantra, is this never back down sort of aspect. And I don't know him well enough personally to say that that's not how his life has been. From everything I've read about Lewis Hamilton, his life has very much been a struggle and a fight and whatever else. And obviously now he's reaping the rewards of his hard work. I don't see a world if Lewis Hamilton, for want of a better word, gives up on the Ferrari thing. I think it's to give up on Formula One. If I'm honest, I think it's to call it a day completely. I don't think he goes back to Mercedes, personally.
If that's the case, then, and as much as I love Carlos Sainz, the smooth operator, I am the future Mrs. Sainz. If that is the case, then I don't want anything other than Leclerc and Hamilton, because Hamilton cannot go out on this season.
Yeah, and the way he is, I feel like we're either going to see one of two things, and I know which way I sit and which way I do want to see. For all the reasons I've said in the past that I don't particularly like Lewis Hamilton, I have oodles of respect for him, and I don't like him because of stuff that happened in McLaren and whatever else. But we will not go there. But I have so much respect for the man. He's easily the greatest of this current generation. He's certainly on your top 4 Mount Rushmore of Formula One, 100%. So I don't want to see him quite like this. And I think that of the two options, one is that he retires and just said the sport's not for me. 26 regs is going to be too difficult to get my head round. I'm 41, whatever he is now, 42, whatever he is.
He'll be 41 next year. So he's a year younger than me.
Right, so he either does that, or what is more likely to me is he goes away. And I think he's already done it in this summer break. I think he's gone away, dusted himself off, and gone. You're Lewis Hamilton. You're a 7. Yeah. Some say should be 8, but the record books will say 7-time world champion. You do not. You know what I mean? This is not you. So I personally, I think we might. It depends which way you want to go, because we're going to lock in these predictions as a pair. But I think I'm going to go. Say again.
I think Ferrari will stick. I'm just saying, if anyone were to replace Antonelli, it would probably be Hamilton. So I reckon those two are going to be the same as well.
Yeah. And I think it has to be someone like a Hamilton for Mercedes to consider replacing Antonelli, to go back to what we were saying at Merck.
Yeah.
I don't think they do it for anybody else.
They've got no one else who's as good.
No.
Unless they do some left wing. We couldn't predict this ever, but Sainz ends up sat next to, or Albon gets promoted.
And I was going to say, actually, on Sainz, I think Sainz is a better driver than Antonelli. Just to throw that out there. But I don't think Mercedes would replace Antonelli with Sainz because Antonelli fits more what they're trying to do for the future. So if Sainz goes anywhere from Williams, you're right, it's to Ferrari. Or in an alternate universe, he maybe goes to Red Bull, but I don't see that happening either.
No. I think too much water under the bridge there, personally.
Yeah, agreed. So we sticking with the locking in as Ferrari. It is confirmed, by the way. I think you said that at the start. Ferrari is confirmed for 26 that it's Hamilton and Leclerc. And it would take Hamilton to do... Ferrari aren't going to get rid of him. It would take him to do something. And I don't see him doing it. Yeah. So we're sticking that one in. Whilst we've touched on it, then let's go to Williams next.
You want to touch Williams?
Yeah, well, I've stopped doing my childish giggling now over willies and ass and stuff. So I've grown up in the last 30 seconds. So let's go Williams. I'm going to say, well, again, it is another team that is officially confirmed. So we are spitballing here, and it's unlikely that there'll be any changes. But let's just play with it anyway. I would love to say that was planned. I'm just not that funny.
We're not that clever.
No. Williams is confirmed as Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz for next year. And even on a notes wise, all I've put is who if Sainz goes. So you go back to that. Who?
I think if Sainz went, and we don't know who he is, and we don't know where he'd go, it'll be one of... We don't think he is. He needs to be offered something that's worth breaking his contract for, and I don't think he will. I think he's backed Williams for a reason. He's had a rough season, but a lot of new drivers in new teams have. But if Williams were to call someone up, it'd be Browning, who we've seen is a Williams driver in F2, or Martins, who of course became a Williams junior driver this year as well. Victor Martins, pretty experienced in F2. I think they'd go for youth. I don't think they've got any... Yeah. If they're stung by Sainz, I don't think they'd have any appetite to go and chase another name.
No, but I agree. But again, that kind of goes away. What Williams have done with the Sainz signing is said we're not here to be at the back of the field. And we spoke about this again on other episodes. 25 for them has got to be fifth. I'm not saying a Browning doesn't do that, but Albon and Browning as a team, for instance, is nowhere near as strong as Albon and Sainz, obviously. So I think I do agree with you, but it would just, I think that may look to the outside world as a step back for Williams. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. But no, I agree. I don't actually think there'll be any. I'm with you. We've kind of gone on a bit of a domino effect as what if Lewis Hamilton retires, which I don't see happening. So as a comeback from that, I think we're pretty safe in saying that Williams stays as is with Albon and Sainz.
Right. Next, the big green wheelie bins that'll be Adrian Newey designed from next year.
Yes.
I can't see anything changing. It should, but it won't.
Officially, again, so another one. Officially, it is confirmed as Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll for next year. So officially, that's confirmed. I have a problem with it. I have two problems with it. One's obvious, but I will need to be exorcised by a priest for the demon that lives within me for my next sentence. So I apologize profusely. I have a problem with Aston Martin keeping Fernando Alonso. It hurts. It hurts a lot, but I'm starting now to think about Fernando Alonso and think he will be. So if Hamilton's 41, Alonso will be 42 next year. Not that's
43, by the way.
43,
43 next year.
Right. So at what point? Phenomenal driver, and I still to this day, maybe not now, but a couple of years ago, he was still the best driver on the grid. He didn't have the best car, and in his McLaren days, he was easily McLaren when they had Alonso and Jenson Button had the two best drivers in Formula One at that time. I stand by that. Now I stand by that. Two smoothest and technically brilliant, but the car was an absolute three-legged donkey with a pig's nose, and I don't know why the pig's nose bit's relevant, but the car was awful, and they.
Is that a Ponky?
Is
that a Ponky?
It would be a Yeah, Ponky. Yeah, over three. I would incorporate the three like a Ponk 3. No, that doesn't make any sense. We've got anyway. Yeah, and I have a problem with Alonso staying because the problem with Aston Martin is they're going to keep Lance Stroll, and I have a huge problem with them keeping Lance Stroll because he is a Ponk 3 too. But he
Ponk 3.
yeah, that sounds like a weird Greek scoreline, doesn't it?
That's a new rapper in it.
Ponk 3-2 Olympiacos. Yeah, and it's and I have a massive problem with Stroll because he's terrible. And I'm now starting to have a problem with Alonso, and the reason being is they're starting to make inroads. Whatever they're going to do, obviously next season, Adrian Newey on board is a massive coup. The amount of money that Lawrence Stroll is pumping into it, Aston Martin are sitting there now with the infrastructure, with everything in place to say we want to compete. We don't want to be laughed at anymore. We don't just want to be there because it's British heritage and how lovely that car is, which it is every single year. They now need to be in a position to compete. Alonso's past it in regards to competing for world championships. I hate myself for saying that he is a king, but he's past it. And Lance Stroll he
was
passed
past
under
it before he got in the car.
Yeah, Lance Stroll has passed under it and just not bothered to even get anywhere near it. And that when you have someone like Adrian Newey. When Adrian Newey, you look at the teams he's done in the past, McLaren, Williams, Red Bull, they've all eventually got to a point, either straight away or eventually got to a point where they are winning things. That team, the drivers in the cars, does not win you a championship or a constructors. Alonso will be good to win. If they had the best car, Alonso will win a lot of races, but he doesn't win a world championship anymore. Alonso, 20 years ago, bear in mind, he won championships 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That Alonso by far wins championships. The Alonso of 10 years ago wins championships. The Alonso of a couple of years ago where he was getting the Aston on podiums probably wins championships. But how much fire can be left in the amount of awful cars that he's had to drive?
All right, then counterpoint. Who replaces Alonso?
Quiet, and that's the point. I don't know because you have to take a risk either way. If you want to go for somebody that's and that's the point. We've spoke about this in the past. We've not seen him enough in an F1 car to really give any sort of indication of whether or not. Again, science possibly. If a position occurs where he's out of the Williams, but again, he would have to be the one that says bye to Williams. They're not going to say bye to him. So I don't see it happening. I don't see what it is available out there. To be fair, I do have one name to throw up, but I'm going to throw it up at the end because it's not linked to anybody and it's a question mark as to why it's not. But yeah, I don't see. There is no options. Let's be honest. Perez. If Perez doesn't go to Cadillac, Perez is an option. But again, if you're saying what I've just said about Alonso, is Perez too far away from being in that same argument himself?
He's won you a constructors very recently.
Yeah, fair. And I did say, is he too far away? He's not there, but
no.
What's the point if he's going to be there himself in 2 years? So I hate myself for saying that about Fernando. Of course I do, but I've said it anyway.
20 Hail Marys later for you when you hang up, just to repent for your sin.
I do apologise.
Okay. We'll move on to the two things.
Sorry, however, Aston Martin is confirmed for next season, just so everybody knows. I know we went off on a bit of a tangent on him. It is Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll for next year. And watch them win constructors.
And Stroll become world champion.
I quit. If that happens, I quit. Because I don't know what I'm doing.
We are down to the last two teams now, and it's not going to take long because I know your opinion of both of these teams, actually.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the existing one first, Alpine. So you've got Gasly.
Confirmed, yep.
Should I throw my name out?
Yeah, because I think mine's right.
Mick Schumacher.
Nope.
Go on.
Flavio Briatore is going to get in the car himself.
It can't fit all those winning behind him.
That's what I could say. But I think
very careful.
Yeah. He's going to strut in, chest out one day and go, do you know what? You're all pants. Get out. I'm doing it.
And he won't wear a helmet. He's too good.
Yeah. He'll ruin his sunglasses and he'll still beat Colapinto. I'm with you though. Colapinto. I actually read something the other week. Phil In, who, by the way, it's his new nickname. Is now Phil In. I don't know if he likes it or not, but it is his new nickname because he fills in for Phil. Phil sent us something on Instagram, and it was about basically saying that Colapinto he is not going to be he's not going to be replaced in the summer break, which is what we actually predicted that he would. And it does look more and more likely now that Alpine are probably going to give Colapinto till the end of the season. I don't think he stays. I think he's got to do something dramatic. I'm going to stick to this because I think I said at the start of the season I actually liked Colapinto at Williams, but I've seen nothing from him at Alpine this season that has made me continue that opinion, and it has changed my mind. So unless he does something significant, Colapinto's gone. There's no world in which Jack Doohan comes back because that relationship is completely broken. So that world is Jack Doohan. Unfortunately, his Formula One career will have lasted 2 races, and it's a travesty that that's the case. But Jack Doohan's Formula One career is over unless something we see completely throws us off topic and he returns in the future. So I don't know. I mean, who does go into that Alpine? Tsunoda?
It's Tsunoda, or like I say, Schumacher drives for the Alpine WEC team. He's got links with Alpine. It brings a bit of money in. And he's had links with Mercedes recently in the engine as well. Schumacher fits, but it's not being spoken about. Yeah,
and Alpine's just a mess. I mean, fair play, and we've said this a million times. Fair play to Pierre Gasly because he is making that team look. He is papering over all the cracks that Alpine has. That team is just, it feels like a mess from top to bottom, Alpine. And Pierre Gasly is keeping his head and somehow keeping the team's head above water as well. I mean, he is confirmed for next year, Pierre Gasly. And I think it's a shame because I think there's no other options really for him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of someone, but I can't. I don't think anyone's going to go for it.
Going back to the argument we were having about Aston Martin, I think Pierre Gasly's a better shout than what they've got now. I don't think he's as talented as Fernando Alonso. I'm going to throw that out there. Again, I can't stress that enough. But I think if you're looking for a future proof, Pierre Gasly has got all the credentials I think that Aston Martin might want, other than he's not British or Lawrence Stroll's son. But I mean, he can adopt him.
Well, yeah. I mean, Stroll. To be fair, our mum is a better option than Stroll. So.
We started this channel when we did. If anybody once you've watched this, go back and watch a little bit of the Bahrain video and watch how nice and polite we are about everybody, and then watch this again because we've changed. Okay, so we go back to, so we're going back to Alpine. Gasly is confirmed. I mean, what do we think genuinely? I don't have a prediction. It's a bit left field, but I might go with your Schumacher because I don't have anyone else.
It's Schumacher or whoever gets left out of Cadillac between Perez and Bottas.
Do either of them want to return to F1 that badly?
I actually think Cadillac's going to be Bottas and Perez.
Well, there is for anybody who hasn't napped at the mention of Cadillac. Phil has done a very interesting video about Cadillac. So if you are in bed and you're struggling to sleep and counting sheep, kidding. No, I'm kidding. Once they're in the sport, I would like to have another team. I'm not bothered. I know I've said that. I'm probably boring you by the amount of times I've said I'm not bothered about Cadillac, to be fair. But anyway, so Cadillac, you're going. What we looking in there then? Bottas and are you hanging your hat on Bottas and Perez?
Yes.
Bottas is a shoo-in. He would not have put that video. And even I looked at Formula One's Instagram, and this is where I found out who's confirmed and who's not, just for this episode. And David Coulthard has commented on the post saying, "At Valtteri Bottas, do you have anything to announce?" So, yeah, I think the F1 world is waiting for Bottas to.
I've seen that Bottas is waiting to be announced, and it's finding the right time with Mercedes because obviously he acts as their reserve driver.
And McLaren
and Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a link. Anyway, no, I'm not going back on it now. We've started. And I've heard or read that Perez is 99% agreed. Now,
think
a strong team.
I think it
strong
makes
team
sense.
to come into F1 with.
I think it makes sense. I think the only thing for me would be normally when you see a new team come in, we've spoken about this before. Normally, when you see a new team come in, do you look at Mercedes when they came back? It was Schumacher and Rosberg. Normally, a team comes from out of nowhere and they have one an experienced head and a younger head, one that will drive the team forward. And that's what Mercedes did. And obviously, Rosberg went on to be a world champion. So I don't disagree that it'll be Perez and Bottas. I just think someone like a Schumacher gives them maybe a drive forward. But I will go.
I agree.
You've done a lot more research on Cadillac because you've done some. So I will stick with your bits of knowledge of Perez and Bottas.
The only other kind of side point, which we can't say he's going to be in because he doesn't have a super license because of the rules with IndyCar points compared to Formula One points and how that stacks up, is Colton Herta's an Andretti driver who has been desperate to get into Formula One for years and has been linked with many a team. But he doesn't hold a super license and there's no way of him getting one. So if they could get over that hurdle, I'd guarantee you Colton Herta would be in a Cadillac. But he won't be because they can't. It sounds horrible. It sounds cruel. And you know what? I'd quite like to see what he could do. You know, he'd have to go right a few times.
I know you actually gave a list of American drivers. I want to see Logan back. Have it Logan Sargent and Nicholas Latifi and watch the cap sales.
Well, yeah, you still see him at Silverstone now. Could you imagine a first corner, though, which includes Stroll, Sargent, potentially Colapinto, and Latifi?
All you're missing is
3 racing laps all season.
Pastor Maldonado, and you've got Belgium 98 all over again, haven't you? Every week.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, fair. Yeah. So we're going with Cadillac then. We're going to nail that in. Approved. I don't know why I sounded like one of the things off Mario then. Yeah. So we're going with Cadillac is going to be Perez and Bottas. So we're going to lock that in. As our prediction, and then Alpine. What we're saying, Gasly
Schumacher or Gasly Joe.
Ooh, Joe's not a bad shout. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm gonna. And do you know what? I'm gonna put Joe in. I think Joe's more likely because he's still more relevant. And Alpine, unfortunately, they will use. They've got the China thing, haven't they? Like they've got the opportunity to market and stuff in China, and I think that'll be more appealing than what Schumacher brings, personally. So a quick rundown then. What we think our 2026 driver lineup is going to be, and then I just have one more name to throw at you, which is coming from proper left wing. So McLaren is confirmed as Norris and Piastri. We don't see any reason to change that. Red Bull is confirmed as Verstappen. We're going to predict that Isaac Hadjar will be his teammate. Aston Martin is confirmed as Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. We spoke about them in length for some reason, even though their driver lineup's confirmed, but that is confirmed, so no prediction needed there. Haas is Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon. That is confirmed, no prediction. Williams is the same. Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz confirmed done. Cadillac have nobody confirmed as of yet, but we're going to stick our neck on the line and go with Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez to come in. Ferrari is confirmed, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, but potential of Hamilton retiring, which I don't think is going to happen. So we're going with that's going to stay. Mercedes have nobody confirmed, but we're pretty much just going to safely bet that it's going to stay as George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. Alpine have Gasly confirmed. He's in the second seat, which nobody wants. I think people want this seat less than the Red Bull seat, second seat. But we're going to go completely left wing on this, and we're going to go that Zhou Guan Yu will be coming into that seat. Racing Bulls, nobody confirmed at the minute, but we're going to stick it out there and say Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad, who is the Red Bull young driver, or one of the Red Bull young drivers, was there at Silverstone this year. And Audi confirmed, that was confirmed about 3 years ago, Nico Hulkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto, future world champion. So the name I'm going to throw out there, because I've done a bit of research on this today, Leonardo Fornaroli, F3 champion, currently leading the F2 World Championship standing, so has a similar pedigree.
Not affiliated with anyone, is he?
Yeah, and I wonder, when you were talking about Williams before, if Sainz were to go, about the whole Browning situation, which would make more sense. But I'm wondering if somebody has a look at someone like him, good pedigree, if he were to go on to win the F2 championship. Even if he doesn't, it's still competitive in F2. The leap from F3 to F2 we know is big, but for him to just walk straight into it as if it's the same, and look, the leap from F2 to F1 is huge. But in the same way that Audi are taking a chance on Gabriel Bortoleto, is anybody maybe? I don't see Fornaroli having a seat in 26. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't. I think we're pretty much on the money, I think, with our predictions, and I think that might be the way it goes. But what I think there might be a team out there, and maybe it might be Alpine. There might be a team out there that are just looking at him and going, "Why not?" In the same way that Audi have said about Bortoleto, why not? And in the same way that we saw McLaren and Alpine have the fight over Piastri, why not? He's not affiliated to anybody. You can get him now early, I would argue, and the promise of a seat will mean that he'll pretty much. I don't know. I haven't heard any rumours if anyone's talking to him. I haven't heard a thing as to how in demand he is. But it's interesting just to keep an eye on him because nobody's affiliated to him at all at the moment. And if he doesn't get a seat in F1 in 2026, I would not be surprised to see his name linked. All of a sudden, he's become part of the McLaren family, for instance, or whatever. That would not surprise me at all because, look, his pedigree's there.
Yeah, I suppose the only point is it's a risk with new rules to take a new driver. I think that's why a lot of the grid is very settled already, other than the teams that are in complete turmoil themselves.
Yeah, and I would agree. Yeah, and you're right, but look, everybody's learning.
It's worth looking at. It's worth keeping an eye on. Yeah, everybody's
learning the new regs, so why not give it to someone who's got to learn everything anyway?
It could be a win-win. Who knows?
Yeah. So keep an eye out. Anyway, Leonardo Fornaroli. Just keep an eye out because that could be a name that we talk about a lot. Just before we go, Ant v Phil. That's what we're going to do next. I cannot remember who we predicted for the last race. I can't even remember what the last race was. Hungary. I predicted Norris. You predicted Piastri. It is 6-3 to me at the moment. So Phil looks like he's going to come on here looking like Nigel Mansell. Where are we going? I can't have Norris. You can't have Piastri. We are, of course, at Zandvoort. Where are you going?
A lot of me, after all the turmoil and stuff, wants to say Verstappen.
Same.
But it's going to be Norris.
And do you know what? I'm going to go with Verstappen. If you're going Norris, I'm going to go with Verstappen because we've spoke a lot. This season's been relatively boring. It is Formula Spaceship versus everybody else, and we run the risk of swapping between Norris and Piastri every week. So I am going to go Max because it's the Dutch crowd. It's mental there. They all love him. They'll all be behind him. And he is mega at this track. So I'm going to go Max. I'm going to throw it out there. So Phil has gone for Lando Norris, who I do think the momentum is with. Andy won there last year. I'm going to go with Max Verstappen, who is Dutch.
Actually, born in Belgium. Well,
Sorry, he was born in Belgium. Yeah, he was. So anyway, but just before we go, thank you for everybody, obviously, for joining us again today. We appreciate it's been a difficult, silly season. There hasn't been a great deal to talk about in the summer break, but we hope you enjoyed this video. And just a quick last mention as well, if you are into the F1 trading cards, not just F1 he does as well, but we're pitching the F1 side of it just for obvious reasons. If you need me to explain that, why, then, if you're interested in the F1 trading cards, legends, tracks, teams, drivers, helmets, all sorts. He's got them all. Like I said, I got an Nigel Mansell off him, and there is a pack actually coming to my house, which is sort of an idea to us of what they're going to be. So I'll be able to show you a bit more what we mean on the next video. But yeah, go check him out. Whatnot. It's DT_collector C0. That's a 0 instead of an O. LLECTOR. And that's on Whatnot. And check out when his next streams are, when his next shows are, when his next sales are, when his next auctions are. Have a look in his shop for anything that's buy now options. And we will be doing a live stream on an upcoming race weekend where we'll sort of joint stream. So we'll do a little bit of talking complete and utter nonsense, and we'll distract him whilst he's trying to make himself some money and sell you guys the cards that you're after. So he will hate us and won't want to do it again. But there you go. So thank you to everybody for watching again. We will see you next week. Formula One is finally back. You don't have to listen to us talking about driver lineups and Cadillac and what else we've done videos on, because let's be honest, No one cares. We will see you.
Bin nonsense.
Yeah, we will see you for the Dutch Grand Prix. And guess what? Max Verstappen is Dutch. Bye, guys.
Right now.